Hi, and welcome back. Glad to have you with the Real Estate Muses workshop. Today, our lesson is called B is for Beginner. And the reason we want to think like beginners is because being successful is as much about what you don't do as what you do. And what a lot of us do in real estate is we spend a lot of time on things that are not necessarily productive. So a huge part of getting started on a new path is going to be to eliminate things that are wasting your time or that don't create the kind of results that you need to actually spend a lot of time on them. So if you did the worksheet from yesterday, what I'm hoping that you found, and you may not have entirely uncovered the answer yet, but if you will take about an hour a day and spend thinking about what your ideal real estate career should be, you will find that there's a place in what we do for you that's going to be uniquely your own. So what we have to do is we have to become beginners, whether we are or whether we aren't. If you are brand new in real estate, then congratulations, because you haven't developed the same bad habits the rest of us have. If you have been doing this for a long time and you feel scattered and pressured and find that your lifestyle is not what you hoped it would be in this business, then the key to it is to become a beginner and not feel that you know everything, and to take your day back to a bare minimum, because time management is everything. And what we're going to do is start with a daily routine that eliminates all the wasted time we spend. And I can tell you that most agents I know begin their day by checking emails, drinking coffee, visiting with others in the office, updating Facebook, all these things. And of course we have to check email, we have to be in communication with our clients. But what I find happens to me is I get on the computer in the morning and I can maybe log on at 8:30, and by 10 o'clock I have been online for an hour and a half and literally accomplished nothing on my to-do list. And the way that happens is I just go to check email, and a client may ask me a question about when we have a new tenant coming in, and that will remind me that I forgot to call the cable company. And so I'll go to the cable company's website and check on that and write down the phone number. And then I decide, well, I'm going to delete the rest of the emails that are just junk mail and whatever. So I start clicking through, and so has requested that I join them on LinkedIn, and so has a Facebook update, and their birthdays. And then there's a real estate seminar, and I think, well, I should check on that because we have continuing ed that we need to finish up before the end of the year. And before I know it, I've been led off track so many times that really I'm not working. I'm playing on the computer and I'm calling it work, but none of it has made me any money. Bottom line, there were probably two emails in that inbox that were actually related to making money that I should have shot off answers to or done the research on and then logged off the computer. So the computer is one really bad habit that we need to break. There needs to be a certain amount of time that we devote to things that we do on the computer, and then we need to log off, leave the office, and get out from in front of it, because half your day can be spent accomplishing absolutely nothing. Here I'll say a word about social media. I know lots of agents that use it. I know very few agents that use it effectively. And I personally have never had a sale or a referral or anything else come from Facebook or social media. However, there are people who do use it and use it well. I'm just not one of them, and I recognize that. So I limit my computer time to the absolute minimum, and people know that if they want to reach me during the day, the way to do it is not by email. They need to text me or call me, because I only check email in the beginning from 8:30 to 9, and that's the last time I see it for the day. There are times when I'm expecting documents or different things, and I may check later, but that's just a little addiction that I have that I had to unplug from. So there are a lot of things that you may be in the habit of doing that we're going to break more habits than we're going to create new ones, but we have to create some new ones too. And the very first thing that we need to examine, that I want you to look at, is if you've been doing some work on trying to figure out what your thing is in real estate. We need to spend some time honing that. And you may not know what I'm talking about yet. You may not have hit on it. So we need to keep exploring everything else you did in your life before you came to real estate. And you may think, well, there isn't anything. I was always a housewife before this. Or you may say, I was in investment banking before this, so I never had any experience with real estate except maybe writing loans. You may have done something completely different, like maybe you worked in an auto body shop, and maybe you were someone who worked in another office. People have done no end of other things before they come into real estate. And the closer you look, the more you'll see that in real estate, it encompasses every single thing that we've done in life, and everything that everyone does in life somehow boils down to real estate. And there are ways to make money within that if you simply get creative and think it over. Maybe you have always worked in an office all of your life and you haven't really done sales. So perhaps you can create an income stream by looking all around your office at the other agents, because you'll see that what most of us hate the most is paperwork. And lots of us are very disorganized. And you cannot afford that. You can't afford to be disorganized and spend half an hour rummaging through your office or on your desk looking for the right contract when a deal walks through the door. You need to be ready to sit down and do business instantly. And after the fact, when someone calls you to get a pertinent fact on a lease or a sale, you need to be able to go right to that thing. There's no way to run a business efficiently if you spend your day scattered and running around and worried because you're afraid that someone's going to catch you unprepared. But all real estate agents or people who have been salespeople for a long time, many of them have that weakness. So if that's your strong point, perhaps there's a way you can work with agents within your office to help them organize their business. And maybe there's some sort of monthly fee that you could charge to help them streamline things. Another thing that you might do if you are experienced with small repair work, you could perhaps do something with other agents when properties need small repairs or they need a little work done to get some staging completed. Maybe there's something that you could do to put together a small business within your real estate business that lets you use those skills. So we're going to explore that more as we go along, but that's something that I want you to pay attention to every single day when you go to work. I want you to listen to the complaints that agents have about the things that are difficult for them, because in those complaints that you'll hear from customers and other agents, from your broker, and from everyone that you meet on a day-to-day basis, those are opportunities for you to come in and solve a problem. When you can solve those problems, you can create that steady stream of income that we're talking about. And so those are little opportunities that I want you to look for while you're getting started and you're figuring out how to make big money as a salesperson. I want you to pay attention to the things that you have experienced and see how they could possibly blend into what you're doing in real estate to help you bring in some income on a regular basis that will create a base, because it's very important to have some sort of base. And once you get going in sales, you will have the base in sales because you'll have closings coming through for you next month and the month after, and you'll have a stream and a pipeline working for you. But right now it's very important as a beginner or as someone who's planning to revise and refine what you do for a living, pay attention to those opportunities, and let's try to figure out some ways that you can make some money within your real estate career that's not necessarily sales driven. Now, most importantly, let's talk about the very beginning of things, because that's where we are now. And like I said, we're going to focus as much on what you're not going to do as on what you are going to do. And the main thing I do not want you to do is I do not want you to spend time every day on things that don't have immediate results, because you are spending probably too much time right now on things that are reputation building, or maybe social media, building a network out there online. And I can tell you that those things may eventually play a part in your success, but they will not define you as a real estate person. The only time you are making money in this business is when you are on the phone or in person with a client. And if you're not doing that, then you are excuse me, if you're not doing that, then you are in essence wasting your day. So let's just try to start with a daily schedule that helps you be productive. And I want you to start off with a completely clean slate. You may or may not have appointments for tomorrow morning. If you do, I want you to have a close look at them right now tonight, because you should always know what you're going to do tomorrow before you close up shop for today. And I want you to take a look at tomorrow's schedule, and if you're wide open, then good for you, because we can really get started. If you have appointments, I want you to look carefully at each one and ask yourself, is this likely to produce income within the next 30 days? If it's not, or you can't answer that, then that is something that I want you to begin to wean yourself from. If it's an appointment, I'll give you an example. Maybe you have an appointment with a lender who is going to meet with you, and what you're hoping for is that they will send prospects your way when they have a new buyer. And if that's the case, I want you to cancel that appointment right now, because networking can be done a couple times a month at network lunches and things like that. You don't need to set a whole hour aside or a half a day aside to do that sort of thing, because it does not produce income anytime soon. Okay, that's just getting to know people and kind of being involved in the business you're in, but it's not productive as far as making money. If your plan for tomorrow was to update your Facebook page or work on your website page that your broker provides for you, I'm going to ask you not to do that. I don't think those things are going to generate money for you in a measurable way in the next 30 days. What I would like for you to spend your time on tomorrow, if you have no plans or if you have an hour or two that you can spend, I would like for you to sit down and make a list of every skill and every interest that you have that you really enjoy doing. And I want you to then try to connect that to real estate. I want you to start asking yourself, how do those things possibly lend themselves to creating a small area in real estate that you can dominate? And the other thing that I want you to do is I want you to get busy trying to get some seller listings. And I want you to get only the ideal seller listing. We're going to cover that a little more tomorrow, and we're going to talk about how to not take on things that I call gold bricks, things that might make you money later, and they're weighing you down right now. What I want you to spend time on for the rest of tomorrow is I want you to spend time on things that will generate income within the next 30 days. Okay, and that could be something as simple as putting together a proposal for people in your office to help them organize, or it could be designing some sort of letter to go out in your neighborhoods that will generate some seller listings for you. The other thing that I want you to do is I want you to eliminate things that you don't like to do. And that may sound a little spoiled and again a little arrogant, but doing things that you don't like to do creates procrastination. And one of the worst enemies of salespeople is procrastination. One of the things I dread the most in real estate is working with the concrete parts of a sale. I really, really hate measurements, and I hate all those things that go with getting a new seller listing. And those things I'm driven to complete because I know until I get that listing up on the MLS, I don't really have anything for sale. So those things I'll make myself do. But meetings and associations and sitting through seminars that, again, I don't see where they're going to teach me to generate money in the next 30 days. Those are things I've eliminated entirely from what I do. And the important thing to do is that when you're working on something to generate income, don't let yourself have an open-ended day of that. If I'm going to generate seller listings, to discipline myself, it's really important that I say I'm going to spend the next hour working on that. And for me, that means setting the timer on my phone for 1 hour and turning that phone off, not allowing myself to do anything else for the next hour except stuffing mailers or sending out emails to for sale by owners on Craigslist, or driving neighborhood looking for sale by owners, perhaps designing some kind of program for expired listings. And when that hour's over, it's equally important to go ahead and cut it off for the day, get up from your desk. And here's where it gets tricky. You don't need to spend 8 hours at your desk to be productive. Chances are 8 hours at your desk is not productive. So to have the kind of inspired real estate career that you want to have, you got to learn the difference between being productive and being busy. And sitting at your desk for 8 hours is not productive, it's just busy. What I'd rather see you do is take 2 solid hours and do something firm and concrete that is going to generate money within the next 30 days. And then I want you to get up from your desk and finish your grocery shopping, go visit with your spouse, clean the house, do all those other things that nag at you that you feel take away from the time that you try to spend focusing on work, those things that float around in your head that stay undone. And go ahead and get up from your desk and call it a day, because if you're not generating money in the next 30 days, you are not working, you're just busy. So let's try to start with that premise. Let's begin to hone our day down to truly productive time. One time management seminar I was at, they described it to me this way, and it made a lot of sense. If you pretended that you were leaving tomorrow for vacation, you're going to be gone a week and no one can reach you by phone. So every single thing on your desk must be completed before you leave in a way that makes it possible for someone else to take over. It's got to all be organized, ready, things in progress, and easy to find, so that if you speak to someone else, you can tell them exactly where it is and what progress you've made and so on. And it's got to be done tomorrow, because you're going on vacation and nothing can be left undone that's on your desk right now. And I promise you, if that vacation were important to you, you'd be very excited. You'd get right to work, you'd sit down at your desk, and in 4 hours or less, you would absolutely complete every single loose end that you had out there, or have it ready for someone else to do. So let's approach it that way. Tomorrow morning, let's get on the computer for absolutely no more than half an hour. Let's check your emails. Let's assess each situation. If it's going to make you money in the next 30 days, then get on it, finish it, make it go forward in some way. If it's something that is a long-term, feel-good, get to know people situation, I want you to call and just tell them that you can't make that appointment and that you'll try to reschedule later in the month when things aren't so crazy. The next thing I want you to do is to get off that computer in half an hour and then ask yourself what you can begin to do to create a monthly income for yourself. This is where I want you to turn off the phone. I want you to spend 1 hour thinking about all those skills, all those hobbies, all those things that you love to do. Can you connect them to real estate? Can you figure out a way to charge people a monthly fee to do those things that you're already good at, to make a little income that's related to real estate for yourself? And the third thing I want you to do is I want you to spend another hour researching how to generate some leads for things that will make you money. The only thing I know of that will definitely make you money is to get seller listings. Okay, you can work with buyers, and for every 40 hours that you spend working with a buyer, you can spend 2 with the seller and make the same commission. So that's what I want your focus on tomorrow. Seller listings, things that you can do to create a monthly revenue stream, and staying off the computer unless it's productive within the next 30 days. So that's it for today. Let's talk again tomorrow, and I hope you're making a little progress. And I also hope that you might get on the forum on the website, because other agents may have ideas for you, and maybe just chatting about it sometimes with other people can spark ideas and help you find the niche that you're looking for. So good luck. I'll see you tomorrow.